Good evening, whoever's here, whoever wants to begin to join us. So tonight's gonna be super duper chill. I recently restocked a lot of my earrings on my online store, link in my Instagram bio, and a link on my Twitter timeline. I think I pinned it. If not, it's definitely in my Instagram bio. Link in bio. I'll put it on my Twitch bio as soon as I can. I just wanted to kind of do a slow rollout because my first batch of earrings actually sold out pretty quickly. I had been doing a series of mini brand earrings. I think I worked on it last stream. So those sold like really fast, and I did one more batch of mini brand earrings, but from now on it's all polymer clay all the time. And so I want to get started on some little polymer clay earrings with y'all. I'm gonna get a good shot of my nails before I start working, because God knows you're gonna get a little messy. So right here, I wanted to do majority of them food based because I feel like that's really fun. Oh hey, actually 1 second. Let us see. One second, folks. Wait, can y'all see me? Okay, good. Perfect. Just check some things here. I hope everyone's doing alright, having a good evening. Go ahead and move myself there. Here we go. Okay. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit. Ooh, sorry. For some reason, my camera decided to zoom back out. I don't love that. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Perfect. I want y'all to be able to see what I'm doing. Let me give you a quick desktop tour. Here we've got our Black Phillip, a mother character that I was working on with her little demon baby. Here we've got Dwight having a moment. Is that there? Here we go. Alright. Now we've got our process cam. So I was working on some little avocados here. It's avocado. Thanks. Hold on, that's gonna drive me crazy. I keep hearing myself on my actual page here. Let me turn that down. Alright, here I am. I'm probably gonna try to make at least two of whatever object I make, or two pairs of whatever object I make, to try to get as close as I can to have them be identical. And also, I assume that this is only my third time working with polymer clay. I might have a bit of a problem with texture application, which won't be too much of an issue if I bake them correctly. Let's put those aside there. Let me go ahead and make two more avocados. Start by just kind of making a round shape here. It's looking more like a slice of cheese than an avocado. Although, you know what? We could use that. Lemonade out of lemons, huh? Squish this down the middle. Let's point it outward. Smoother down. Point it back down. Ooh. Ooh, or I could make this into a little slice of cake. That would be really cute. It's so perfect. Squish this down. Alright, we started with avocado, but we got cake. That's fine. It's all about balance. So let me try that round shape again. Let's see where it leads us. Hello? Oh, come on, man. That's not cool. Where'd you go? Process cam. Come on now. Where'd you go? Okay, let me try going out and then back in. So sorry about this, guys. Exit there. Okay, let me try going back in. Oh boy, come on, droid. There we go. Nothing like a good old-fashioned turn it off, then turn it back on. Get us going. Okay. So sorry about those technical difficulties. Let's go on ahead. Zoom right back in. So we can see our process a little better, huh? Let's do a zoom down here. Yep, herbs. Okay. That's better. Sorry about that. Now back to our avocados. I honestly have gotten like really obsessed with avocados lately. They're like the perfect veggie snack. Despite the squishy texture, it's just a perfect thing to put on toast. You know, typical freaking millennial, right? Avocado toast. I'll never be able to buy a house. God. So it seems like she's starting to come together a little bit. Looks pretty close to this one at least. Yeah. Set those aside. Let's actually set this third one aside as well. So we got 3 little avocados there. You know, for this next one, let's just do one of those little freeform ones. Just do whatever. You know, I should have brought some cookie cutters in here. But you know what? Let me actually just press this one down a little bit. Oh, you know what? That's too big. Here we go. Okay. There we go. It's a nice little medallion shape. Can definitely just round out those edges a little better. And we've got ourselves a cute little circle, huh? And there we have it. Maybe let's make the next one a little bit smaller. By the way, guys, I'm pretty much only working with clay right now. This is in fact oven-baked clay, so we won't get to see the finished product on stream, but you will be able to see it as soon as I'm done baking and painting all my little shapes, and I will definitely be posting these on Instagram and my my online shop, link in my Instagram bio. So that'll be pretty exciting. There we go. This circle turned out a lot better. Oh, wait a minute. Before I get too carried away with other shapes, maybe I should do a little bit of texturing on my avocado here. Or you know what? Let me see if I can use a palette knife. Maybe I should cut one of these in half and do like an avocado pit on one of the sides. I am a freaking genius. Ah. Okay. Just gotta fix the outer shape a little bit. We're gonna have ourselves 2 halves of a whole avocado. Let's make them a little more squat. Maybe that might make a little more realistic. Although honestly, realism's not normally even my bag. Hello. Come on, Cam. Quit doing that. There we go. Alright. So we've got 2 little halves right here. Now we're going to go ahead, make an itty bitty pit. No, that's too big. I say itty bitty and then I make the pit almost the whole size of the avocado. Okay. Let's put the pit on this larger one here. It might still be too big. Just a teensy bit small. just gonna loop it right on there. Loop. Smooth it down just a teensy bit. There we go. Okay, now before I get carried away, as I said, let me go ahead and put our eye hooks. It's gonna need about that much. Now we're just gonna cut it. Ah, damn. And just stick the eye pin right through there. And done. It'll bake inside of the earring. Might be best for us to do that as we go so that we don't keep having to go back. Because I am going to have to bake these before I paint any of them. So it'd be pretty helpful if I just have the eye pin already in there. There we go. Okay. Now I do love what I did with this little circle. Let's see if I can make another one of those. I don't know if I'll turn it into something or if I'll just have it be like a cute little circle. But it's a journey, you know? So let's see. Looks kind of like a biscuit. Maybe I should make it a biscuit. Okay, this one's a lot thicker actually. So pretty much is a biscuit. Jesus is a biscuit. Flatten it a little bit more. A little bit more. And here we are. They're about the same density, which is what we want. Smooth down those edges a little bit. You know, when I first started doing this, I actually started doing Instagram Lives. And at first I thought it was going to be a little intimidating doing it with an audience, but honestly, I need people watching me to hold myself accountable. Because if not, I'm just going to end up sitting down, get all my stuff out, pull out my phone, and then end up scrolling through TikTok for 2 hours instead of actually working. And also, these are just like little bitty projects that I feel like other people might be interested in at some point. So it's fun to just sit down and just bang something out, you know? Not really think too much about it. Because I do have a few pieces that I did put a lot of thought into, and I'm still really proud of them, but you can't do that every single time, you know? You drive yourself crazy. Not every piece has to be extremely thoughtful and have a whole thesis behind it, you know? Sometimes you just want to make an avocado. And you just need to make an avocado. Not a big deal. Like, not that we're the same, but it makes me totally understand why sometimes Doja Cat will just get on TikTok and just make random gremlin noises. Because, you know, sometimes you just gotta do that. You don't always have to be extremely attractive. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I could make this into a slice of cake. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's a cute little wedge shape. I could definitely do that again. Let's use this one. Right. I'm so sorry, y'all. She's a little camera shy today. My camera is a little camera shy today. But you know what? We shall persevere. Okay, we've got a good little wedge shape going. Stick it down. Get it a little flatter on both ends. Squeeze it down a little. Okay, so one is clearly bigger than the other. But mayhaps I could turn these into keychains or like a cute little necklace. They don't all have to be super matching. We're just feeling the vibe of some of these pieces. If anything, with how lumpy this one's being, I could turn it into a little bit of pizza. There we go. Yeah, okay. Do little pizzas. That could work. Yeah. My genius strikes again. Let's see if I should tuck the crust or just make a whole brand new little piece of crust. Lemon Slice does art. How are y'all doing tonight? Hope y'all having a good evening. I'm just chilling, making some itty bitty earrings out of polymer clay. Just doing random food shapes, whatever comes to mind. So far, I'm on a pair of pizzas. They were gonna be cakes, but turned a little bit lumpy. But you know, we're gonna work with that and make pizzas. Because I really do love this one as a little slice of cake, but she could be by herself. That could definitely be just a singular pendant or a keychain or a necklace. We will work with it. But I hope y'all guys are having a good evening. Has anyone seen the new Batman? That shit was so good. Although I might be a little bit biased because I was, or I guess I still am, a bit of a Team Edward stan, but honestly, it's still just a really good movie. Very interesting Riddler, I will say that. Let me just roll this little pizza crust. Lemon Slice does art. What kind of art do y'all do? Paintings, mixed media, drawings, digital. I've been trying to practice digital more often. I cannot find the time. I did a little bit of graphic design in college, but it was mostly just like practice advertising stuff. We never actually worked with like editing software. So I'm still a little bit green. Probably should practice a lot more though, because I imagine the type of techniques you need to learn is similar to most traditional mediums. It just happens to be the technology that I have a bit of a learning curve with. Can't wrap my head around some of it. So far, I'm just working with a little tablet, trying to figure things out. Just adding some textures. And we're gonna add some brownies. Or no, that's way too big. I'm gonna cut them down a little. There we go. So I'm hoping to have these baked tonight so that I can paint them tomorrow and have them on my online store, link in bio. Or link in my Instagram bio actually, so that I can have them on my online store by sometime next week, hopefully, most likely. That's also why I'm trying to stick with like simpler food shapes. That way I can do a good turnaround time without completely sacrificing the quality, because I do care a lot about that. Hey, so you do digital art on it. It's such. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, sorry. I mostly do that to avoid some of the spam bots, because a lot of people I know have trouble with them. So, just trying to play it safe. I knew for sure I had to avoid spam bots here, because I get them real bad on my Instagram stories still. It is wild. But thank you for joining anyway. um, but thanks for joining. Thanks for rating. Yeah, I've been trying to get into digital myself. This seems like a lot to work with. Although I don't really have any like legit software. I mostly just work with random sketchbook apps just to kind of doodle and work my way around, you know? Figure you gotta start somewhere. I really admire my sister-in-law actually. Tips on digital art, tips on. Oh yeah. I mean, I took a class. My main major was actually just regular bachelor's in art. Um, Although I took the class with graphic design majors, which is what made it so intimidating because they knew their way around the software like way before I did. Like literally joining that class, and I think my senior year of college was my first time using a lot of the stuff we were doing, and so I was just like, uh, it was crazy. But yeah, I can just get back in the saddle and figure my way out. I figure as long as I stick with whatever motifs I do traditional, then I should be okay. Like I normally do. Some human subjects, like this girl right here, um, mostly animals, a lot of foodstuffs as well, but mostly animals, plants. Um, I did most of my work in college based off plants. So I figure maybe if I just stick with what I know, that might help me a lot, regardless of whatever apps I might be using, you know? For now, I'm just doodling around in my tablet, seeing what's what. But, I mean, what kind of motifs do y'all usually like? Any particular color schemes? Any themes y'all are working with right now? I've been really trying to get into doing people a lot more often. Only thing I struggle with are realistic skin tones. I usually cop out and just use like unnatural colors like blues and greens. Because you can still shade really easily with those. It's just like when it comes to IRL paint, I usually get a little bit lazy with underpainting and it ends up looking way too orange. Definitely a learning curve. Yeah, I figure. I actually really admire my stepsister-in-law right now. Do that too. I think it looks more fun. Oh, yeah. It does, but at the end of the day, like, realism really isn't my bag anyway. I kind of just like to, you know, make whatever I want to make, and then hopefully it fits some kind of motif that other people also find aesthetically pleasing. It's a real art for art's sake type of deal. Because I realized in college, like, it's not that I couldn't do more realistic works, it's just that I wasn't interested, you know? Like, I do love majority of the real classics, you know, Da Vinci, etc., but it just wasn't my bag. I prefer to have a little more fun with it, get a little weird. So I think for our smaller cake one, because I think she's going to be a little strawberry shortcake pendant. Got our little strawberry here. That'll bake on right on top. Let's just squeeze her down. Get a little more pointy. Yeah, it is a little bit stifling because it is important if you're having a. I was just about to ask what trying to say. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm working with food. Just some simple food stuffs. Oh gosh. Camera does not want to behave today. Just some simple food stuffs. We've got a little piece of cake. I was gonna make a matching one. It didn't work out, but you know what? She can be her own little pendant, her own little necklace charm. I've got two little circles here. I was thinking of, well, this one turned out a little bit more better formed. I might turn her into a little baby bell something. Because I had an initial line made out of mini brands. So I figured I might as well stick with the theme, food, because like majority of the shapes here are simple enough to where I can sculpt and shape and color these with good enough time where I'm not completely running myself ragged. My very first ones are right here. We've got a little avocado half with a pit. I did make it a little big, but you know, maybe whoever cut it was having a little bit of bad luck that day. Because usually the smaller the pit, the better, because you get more avocado. Yeah. I just like working with food, because majority of the earrings that I like to buy are just like little funky shapes, like food or random objects. I think I started collecting those. God. Maybe last year before that. Although I got really obsessed with mini brands, like around last year too, actually. Started collecting them and messing with them, playing with them. Well, thanks so much for joining. You have a good night. And we are going to press on. Hope to catch your stuff later. I will probably take you up on that tips on digital drawing, because God knows I need practice. And for anyone else listening, that's exactly how it is with any other medium, like sculpting, painting, drawing. As much as a lot of people like to throw their hands up and just say, I wish I was good at it, I can't do a stick figure, no one is innately born with gifts. You have to keep practicing, you know? It's really boring and it sucks to say, but that's what you gotta do. I think for this next one, I might make them little croissants. Here we've got our little shape. We just make one more little one to wrap over it. We go ahead and flatten it into a little square. Right. Let's point outward so we get the cute little flap that most croissants have. Right in the middle. We can definitely just flatten that down. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, not that flat. There we go. Let's make a second one. Let's put these aside. Now, if there's one thing I love so much that I can't buy them that often, is these freaking little butter croissants from Pillsbury. Freaking love those things. Ooh. Like, y'all know that moment on Scott Pilgrim where he's like, "What makes you fat?" If I didn't know any better, I would have that moment just with these. Well, this and Hawaiian spring rolls, but you can already tell from the sweetness that it definitely has a few calories. But you know what? It's worth it. Like, every Easter, Thanksgiving, those are the first things to go. They're just so freaking good. Anybody else who crazy about Hawaiian rolls? Freaking love those things. I suppose I could make a Hawaiian roll, but it's not a very interesting shape. But it's a deeply interesting flavor and texture. Which is kind of funny. Uh-oh. Is this one too big? Okay, yeah, it's not an exact match. Let's trim this one down. Second. If she makes her way around here, by the way, I could show you my baby. Her name, well, it's a cat. Her name is Baby. And she is extremely friendly. And she usually likes to sneak in here pretty much every night to sit in as many boxes in here as possible, although majority of them are filled up with junk. So usually she has to like squeeze her way in or just sit and sneak in one of the shelves. And I end up not finding her until I'm already in here and she scares the shit out of me. It's the funniest thing. Anybody else here got a pet? Or two? Or 10? I never saw myself getting a cat either. But we were living here in our rent house for, gosh, I think over a year. And we just I kind of kept feeding her and talking to her, and she would keep coming to the door. And eventually she started scratching at our door, trying to get in. And it was just like, well, we have to let her in now. Like, she knows that she wants to live here. So she adopted us, really. We kind of just made room. She is so well behaved. A lot easier to potty train than I thought, mostly because she was, like, practically an adult. Once we got her fixed, we kind of just had her live in the bathroom for a little while she healed, and she took to the litter box right away. Which, according to my husband, is extremely rare. Majority of cats, especially grown-ups, will give you a little bit of a hard time. Especially because we had no idea how long she'd been living outside. Like, for all we knew, she could have been feral. But we actually learned from the next door neighbor that the neighbors across from us abandoned her. Like, she lived with them her whole life. And that's why she was so friendly and immediately took to us. Which is the saddest thing in the world, but it made us really glad that we took her in, you know? Like, thank goodness. Gosh. I am sorry about the progress cam, you guys. She is just having a hard time tonight. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna try to upgrade to a webcam as soon as I can. She is just difficult. She's a diva. She's just like, the pH in the soil is too high. Jesus. Why is it so hard to get an exact match of these shapes? Well, you know what? Let's make them sisters, not twins. One of them could be the big sister, but let's just trim down the clay. See where that gets us. Let's make it a little bit longer. Squeeze her down. Just pinch it closer. Little bitty horns. Alright, that's a lot better. Okay, I just needed to trim down the clay. Now we're going to make a little flap of dough right over it. Point it, flatten it, and just drape it along the top there. Roll it around. Tuck it in a little. There we go. Let's put her down. Now let's grab our eye pins. And it's best we do this as we go so that we don't have to go all the way back to all our little shapes and put in eye pins for every single one. Because they are going to need them whether we make earrings, a necklace, etc. Like either way, you're going to need them to make a little bit of a charm. Come on. There we go. I'm glad you're actually able to see me put in the eye pins for these. I would have shown you some of the mini brands that I had to do. But I was a little worried about TOS because some of them I did have to use a little bit of fire. Like for the thicker plastic, like if it's a bottle, you've got to apply a little flame to the end of the eye pin so that it melts the plastic on the way in. And it can get a little dangerous if you're not careful. Of course I was, but you know, it's a little risky. There we are. One second, guys. Gotta check my socials real fast. All right. Okay, let me see what food should be next. But so far we've got our croissants, we've got 2 slices of pizza, avocado. We have our unopened avocados. Not sure what to do with those just yet. I'll figure it out. Mini cheeses. We've got our little bitty cake. Got what'll probably be 2 more slices of pizza. Let's see, what else? Maybe an egg. Although that feels a little too easy. Too simple. Oh, I know. Maybe a couple of tacos. Smooth it down a little. Yeah, let's make 2 smoothed out shapes. Here, actually, I have something that we could use as a rolling pin. Just move all of this soft clay out of the way before I start rolling. That might be a good idea. That's the fun thing about this polymer clay. It does not take much to roll because it is so soft. Let's see. Trim this down a little. I wonder if I have a small enough circle around here. Yes, I do. Good, good, good. Wait, no. It's not small enough. Let's try using one of these. Oh. Just like that. And we will use our painting knife. Just do itty bitty cookie cutter. Here we go. We have one little tortilla. Perfect. Perfecto, as the French say. God, why do I keep doing that? I'm getting just under the correct size. Maybe if I actually look at the numbers. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. 2 1/3, I think. I don't know my metrics. I'm an American, damn it. I use the imperial system. Like, what the heck even is a kilometer? That's so ignorant. But I can't help it. I'm an American. Alright. Let's get our second tortilla. There we go. Let's flatten her out a little bit. Stretch her out. Alright, we got 2 little tortillas. Now let's make our ingredients. Obviously we'll need some lettuce. Thing about polymer clay is its softness is both a pro and a con. Because my goodness, this shit's a little slippery. Quite the conundrum indeed. Anybody here love vampires? I'm a huge fan of What We Do in the Shadows. Such a freaking funny show. It's so hilarious. Like, literally imagine, like, The Office and... Gosh, I don't know. Honestly, yeah, like an Office-style documentary type show, but it's vampires. Like, not understanding how stupid they are when it comes to a lot of human stuff, and they're familiar, just desperately, A, trying not to die, but also just hopelessly indentured to these freaking vampires who don't know how to do anything. It's freaking hilarious. Not to mention Laszlo, he is just... Whew. Let me just make this into like a fun little squiggle shape for the lettuce and just have it poking right out the side. That might work, right? Yeah. Anybody remember that whole raining tacos thing? That song, It's Raining Tacos? That shit was crazy. The kids today might think they're weird with, you know, that one snoring sound and majority of the TikTok dances, but we were like... I don't want to say peak internet. It was more like peak understanding the internet as like an entertainment industry. Because shit was just getting started back then. Back in my day. Back in my day, we didn't have the Renegade. We planked both ways, back and forth from school. Oh my god. I would love to forget about planking, honestly. That shit was cringe. Like, I get that cringe is dead and we let people like what they like, but no. Planking was weird. And this is coming from someone who did the Harlem Shake as their senior prank. That was funny. But it's still a little weird that we thought that that was like the height of comedy. I mean, granted, it was one of the more innocent internet trends at the time. Like the cinnamon challenge was also popular around that time. And that was ridiculous. Anybody remember the cinnamon challenge? It was so dumb. People were literally like poisoning themselves for the gram, for the views. Alright, we got a decent little. I'd call this more of a torta than a taco. It's alright. We're doing good. Maybe if I squish it down a little bit more so it's more. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That shape looks a lot more like a taco. It's a lot better. Let's close up this one. Squish it down for that good taco shape. Alright, yeah. We're doing good. Let's add a little bit of texture to the shell. Just some little pokey pokes. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just use a simpler toothpick? But the thing is, this is perfect for adding texture. And also, these rounder, the fact that it's like a cylinder is also perfect for tucking in little bitty pieces that might be harder to reach with your fingers. Especially with these nails. I honestly normally go a lot longer, but I feel like this is a pretty good length because it was a brand new set. Or whatever. I could go longer. It's just that sometimes I know how Cardi B feels. Where she was just like, and my nails were so long and so pointy. Do you know that I stabbed my asshole? Like, I get it. It's possible. It's not fun. It's a lot funnier retelling it after it happens. Alright, we've got a little eye hook on one. Now let's do our second. Oh, shoot. Sorry. There we go. There we are. And we've got another pair of itty bitty foods. Got a whole food stand here, huh? 1 second, y'all. Alright. Okay, next food item. Oops. Actually, let me go ahead and finish this little cake before I forget. Because I put her down a second ago and I completely forgot she was there just now. But she needs... Maybe some crust. Because I feel like this back end is really, really blank. So maybe I'll add like a bit of whipped topping right behind the strawberry. That's what I'll do. Because, I mean, the whole point of strawberry shortcake is it's just a vehicle for angel food, whipped cream, and strawberries. Like, that's the whole deal. And let me see. I feel like maybe I'll just do a little bar of whipped cream, strawberry, or should I do a little dollop? No, I'll do it back here. Yeah. Towards the back. Let's just make some divots. Let's heighten it up a little. Stick it right on there. Let's pack it down. I'll stick the strawberry back on. Alright, now she's ready for baking. So let's put that eye pin before I forget. There we go. Alright, so we've got our singular little cake pendant. On to the next food item. Anybody got a suggestion? Could be a little more complicated if you want. Because we've got lots of simple stuff here. Could be a repeat over here. We've got lots of pizzas, avocados, croissant, tacos. I'm not sure what I want these cylinder things to be. I'm thinking like a Babybel, maybe. Or maybe I'll make it just like off-brand, a Schmeeby Schmel, an adult Bell, or just Bell. Maybe I'll make it like a little Taco Bell pun. That'd be fun. I normally don't even eat there. Because we have so many taquerias in front of, all around. It just feels like a waste, you know? Although granted, majority of people understand that Taco Bell really isn't even Mexican food. It's just like fast food that happens to have a Mexican flavor to it. It's like basically knockoff Mexican food. It's mostly just a vehicle for cheese and whatever proteins and other meats they want to put in it, which I respect. But it still feels like a waste of money sometimes. Because you never get full. It's just like, it's like McDonald's, you know? You guys want to hear a joke? So well, I heard it on TikTok. I forget which account told me. Come on, girl. There we go. So this little boy runs up to this farmer and, well, he knocks on his door. And he says, I notice on your property there's some milkweeds growing in your driveway. I was wondering if I could get some milk from it. The farmer says, I'm not sure if milk works like that, son. And he says, well, I want to try. So he's like, okay. So he hands him a bucket, leaves him be, comes back by the end of the day and gives him 2 gallons of milk. He says, well, I'll be damned. Then the next day, the kid knocks on his door and says, I noticed you have some honeysuckle growing on your property. I was wondering if I could get some honey from it. And he says, I don't think that's how honey works, son. And he says, well, I want to try. And the farmer says, okay. And then he gives him some bottles, and he gives him 2 bottles worth of honey by the end of the day. He's like, well, I'll be damned. And then the next day, he knocks on the farmer's door, and he says, I noticed there's some pussy willows growing by the creek. And he says, son, I'm going to stop you right there and let me get my hat. That is just so dumb. Let me make another taco. Couldn't hurt. Actually, let me flatten it first. Ooh, that's a perfect tortilla shape. I did that without even trying. Well, I did try, but you know. It's a pretty decent little tortilla shape. Huh? It's almost like I went to school for this. That'd be crazy. Really, though, I do need to refine the tortilla shapes. Let me just flatten another bit. And just push it all the way down. And then we'll put the stencil over it to get our tortilla. There we are. It's a little bit thicker than I wanted. But we will persevere. Okay, there we go. You know, that's the funny thing about making things from memory. You suddenly low-key forget what anything looks like. Like, don't ever let anyone tell you that you shouldn't use a reference for something. Literally, if you are unsure about the shape of something, you can make it up to a certain extent, but like if you really want to get a little bit closer, there's absolutely no shame in just going to Google, Pinterest, all of that. Absolutely no shame in it. Especially when it comes to just like random objects, because it's like horses, forget about it. I cannot draw those things unless I have like a photorealistic image right in front of me, and even then it's going to be a day. Don't even be started on birds. It's like, oh yeah, a beak, sure. But what does the rest of the face look like, huh? Like Black Phillip here, I was mostly able to draw like 50% on my own because I had recently watched The Witch for I think the second time, and I was obsessed. Such a freaking good movie. But even then, he was already like on my mind, so that's what made it a lot easier. But not every single project is going to be like that, you know? Like sometimes you just got to stare at a bird to know how to draw a bird. Not a big deal. I definitely do that with plants. Although usually if I see something that's like particularly interesting, I'll take a picture of it that I can use later. Even then, that's still using a reference. I'm real sorry about my progress cam, y'all. I do not know what she's doing up there. We are just, we're here for the ride, you know? We are not here for, we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. We are Broski Nation. God, imagine if I just start burping really loud. Let's see. I think I might have overloaded my last thought post. Let's do a little bit lighter. Let's do a bean and cheese. Let's do one big slice of cheese and then stuff the rest with beans. That's what we'll do. Here, let's make the cheese a little bit thicker. Because usually when I make bean and cheese at home, if it's just for myself, I always put like a thick slice, like a slice of cheese, like a single. Just slap some beans on and then call it a day. But if it's with other people, we'll use the shredded cheese. Be a little more fancy. So this is a homemade bean and cheese. That's what this is. This is good home cooking. With a thick ass slice of American cheese. Good old fashioned melting pot of a taco. Square this off because this is supposed to be cheese. There's our cheese. There we go. Oh, maybe we could do a burrito for the next one. That'd be a good idea. I'll need to make the tortilla a lot bigger though. There we go. Funny thing about tacos is that it's just like, they're so addicting sometimes, you know? You kind of get carried away, you forget how many calories it all is. But honestly, it almost doesn't matter, especially when you're having it for breakfast. It's like, the calories don't even go to your stomach, they go to your heart, you know? Like, you feel that. You feel the cooking expertise in every bite. So it's like, it's fine, I'll work it off by the end of the day. Usually. Oh boy, I think I might overstuff this taco. Yeah, I definitely overstuffed this. Frick. Oh, you know what? Lemons and a lemonade. We're making these hot dogs now. Come on, babe, stay with us. Hello? Sorry, I thought I heard somebody yelling. Come on. Stay with us, babes. Don't you die on me. Well, hello. Come on now. Come on, man. How are we doing, babe? We need to give the people what they want. Come on. Alrighty, front. Let's get it. Anything? Come on. There we go. Oh, by the way, my necklace says Senpai on it. I cannot for the life of me remember where. Well, I know where I got it, actually. I got it at an anime convention here in town. Gosh, I think like 3 or 4 years ago. I completely lost that person's business card. I do that every single time I go. I always collect all these business cards and I like kind of sort of Google some of them, but the rest I'm just like, yeah, I'll bookmark them. I'll remember. And then I completely forget. Unless I was already following them. I'm terrible like that. I really do gotta get better about it though, because I like these. Like, I wish I could remember who I got them from, you know? They're really cute. They had a bunch of other designs. Like, Oni-chan and all that. Although I wouldn't get that. Still though, this shit was cute. I think I got this from the same convention. It's just a fun little thing. Although I got Bonner back there from I think I got him from Spirit. I got his sister from HEB though, Deirdre. Bonner's been pretty good to us for the most part. He lost a. Oh wait a minute, where is it? I don't remember where it is. But he's been getting a little handsy lately. I don't even know where it went. That's how bad he's been. Yeah, he lost it during a particularly raucous bachelor party. If you can believe that. Poor guy. He just had one too many. Started horsing around. Next thing you know, he loses his hand. Tragic. Although he likes to pretend that he lost it on a bet or during a drinking game, but it's just straight up popped off. Nobody will tell me how. I just came back from my bachelorette and it was gone, and everybody was like, something happened. Okay, we've got our little hot dog buns. There we go. That's a cute little bun. Let me straighten this one out. See, now this one ended up looking like a torta, like it should have earlier. But you know what? Going with the flow. As much as I can. I'm embracing the Dionysian impulse, huh? Embracing the pure creativity spirit. Which is to say, I'm just chilling the fuck out for a little bit. Just gonna make our little pocketfuls of sunshine here. Got our little hot dogus. It's actually a perfectly good looking little wiener. Okay, no, now it's too skinny. Damn it. That's so close. Okay, there we go. Come on. No. Here, maybe I need to make the edges a little more round. So that's usually what wieners look like, right? They're just like thinner sausages. Like so. Huh? Let's put it in our bun. See what the audience thinks. I don't know. Let's see what the audience thinks. Although the hot dog is missing just a little drizzle of mustard. Although maybe I should add that in paint. Because my issue is, since I'm working with just plain white clay, that whatever larger color effects I might want to add might affect the structure of the whole thing. Because I don't want to end up having to paint all the way around the mustard. Or I could just layer it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll add the mustard with clay. That way it'll have a bigger effect from far away. Because I'm supposed to, pretty much by the time I'm coloring it, you should be able to see some of the color from where the person is standing. You know? These are a little bit smaller than what I normally work with. Usually I make sculptures about like this big. At least that's what I did the last couple times I worked with Sculpey. But honestly, it's so easy to make little bitty earrings. Just going with the flow here. I think I could do pickles next. Although for those it would need to be a little bit bigger just for scale purposes. Also for the novelty of it, you know? That'd be funny. A little bitty pickle. Anybody around here like pickles? Honestly, I had to kind of grow into them. But now that my palate has changed so much, I do still really enjoy a lot of sweet things, but not nearly as many as I used to when I was younger. Like, I used to be able to eat so much candy. And of course it's a good thing that I don't anymore. It's just one of those things. You notice your taste just changing. pretty weird. Okay, that's not squiggly enough. It's not scrunkly enough. I need a little scrimblow. A little scrimblow? I'm sorry. I keep doing that. Like, all day when I'm at work, my brain is just like, you know, that horrible yawning sound from TikTok, or just random Vine quotes. I want a church girl that go to church and read her Bible. All day long in my brain. Well, it's either that or whatever true crime thing I'm watching / listening to. So, like, one of my bosses is having a normal conversation with me, like, hey, if you could get this or that. And in my ear, it's just like, her legs were cut off. Your ear was cut off. They found a decapitated head shortly after leaving the scene. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll get those reports. I don't mean to be so nonchalant about it. It's just, it's interesting. I really only mostly listen to closed cases that have been done and gone for a good enough time. I do appreciate some of the shows that are really respectful to the victims' families, especially for certain cases that were not solved yet. Like Kendall Ray, I love her. She does a lot of victim outreach, really respectful. Alright, now let's go ahead and make the eye pins for these. Stick a fork in them. Oh, maybe I should do a fork. That'd be cute. Maybe a fork and a spoon. Oh my god, what am I doing? There we go. Really is something the baby hasn't come this way. She's a pretty curious little kitty. Although usually if Jamie's gaming, usually if my husband's gaming on the couch, she kind of just immediately jumps on and passes out, calls it a night. And he's kind of you know, once they fall asleep, you can't move them. It's illegal. It is against the law to disturb a beautiful little cat while she is getting her memes. Let's just do a real big Bon Appetit fork and spoon. That'd be cute. Obviously, we'll start with the spoon head. Make a little thumbprint here. Use that to kind of pull it out. Maybe I should make more of a cooking spoon. You know, like those little spatula ones. Yeah, I'll do that. Smooth it out a little more. I may need to make the handle a little more proportional. Or maybe just smooth this one down. Is that anything? Maybe a toothbrush. Let's just scrub it. Back to the drawing board. Let us see. How about tomatoes? That'd be cute. Little tomatoes. Maybe I could finish up these little pizzas that I had earlier. At the very least, in theory, they're pizzas, but they're kind of thick. Let me just kind of squish this one down. See if that does anything. Yeah, there we go. Got some decent looking pizza. Some good old Freddy Fazbear goodness. Right there. Alright. Yeah, that's a much better shape for the pizza. You kind of curl this crust down a little bit. Smooth it out. Can add more texture to the cheese in a second. So I'm trying to stream fairly regularly. I did have a stream this past week. Uploaded it to my YouTube. I'll go ahead and link to my YouTube eventually as well. And next week, I'm hoping to do a little bit of Animal Crossing. Just guys being dudes, just crossing some animals, chilling, chillaxing, changing your outfits. That's honestly what I do half the time now, is just kind of log on, change my outfit, meep, log off. Oh no, I take that back. I also look at the Paradise Planning. Freaking love Paradise Planning. It is literally everything that I used to be obsessed with when I would play Girls Go Games. Y'all remember Girls Go Games? I freaking loved that website. I used to be on Polly Pocket, freaking all the Barbie simulators, My Scene, of course. That was my jam. And the Animal Crossing Paradise Planning fits right into that. But it's a whole house. A whole house, and of course the outside of the house. The entire interior, exterior, the vibe, just the general ambiance, the lighting. And they're not even always like places where the person even wants to, like, it doesn't even have to be like an actual house. Some of them want like photo studios, some of them want spaceships, fun little kitchens where they can cook, film themselves making food. Like, the possibilities are endless. The last 3 I've done, I think, were beauty shops. Shit is so fun. You know, these pizzas, I think I'm gonna make them more sisters than twins. Because isn't that the way it goes? You don't always get the exact same looking type of pizza as long as they're the same toppings, right? Yeah? Yeah. There we are. Let's give ourselves a little olive. Mm-hmm. I do too. Honestly, the only reason I found actually a website that has like an in-browser simulator of a lot of the Flash games from Girls Go Games, but I'm just too scared because it's one of those websites that has all those little buttons everywhere that say download, and obviously I'm not going to press any of them, but I don't know. I just get wary of websites that have all those banners and buttons everywhere because usually they're there because they're running some kind of pop-up like in the background. Even if you can't see it, it's like caching you, you know? I don't know. I just get too sussy. It's a little sussy Baku. If it weren't for that, though, I would definitely play it, because it has literally all the same games that I used to play. I used to freaking love the Babysitter Simulator. Until I got smaller siblings, and I was like, why the hell would anyone want to do this? I was insane! Not to mention, I used to also play a lot of the Bratz games, and I owned several Bratz dolls. And I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a whole... I wouldn't call it a backlash. It was more like parents were getting a little itchy about Bratz dolls, saying like, well, we don't want our daughters around those types of women. And, oh shit. And of course, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? But now that I'm older, I'm like, I know what they were talking about, but it's also like, why is that a bad thing? Like, excuse me if I want to be an Instagram baddie. Like, was that really such a bad goal back then, We didn't have Instagram back then, but still, Photobucket. Oh my god. I feel so old talking about Photobucket. Kids, we didn't have Pinterest back then. We had to save our memes on Photobucket and Google Images. That's all we had. We had the block text. Like, people use block text ironically now, but back then, that was it. That was the format. It was that, like, funny videos every once in a while, and then when the random shit started, that's when, like, the more general meme formats really came about. But it was the Wild West back then. You had to make your shit. Like, like we have fan edits now. Back then it was anime AMVs. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Kingdom Hearts, a lot of yaoi AMVs. Uh, don't even get me started. Oh man. Oh, Rosebud. Oh, you know what? I was gonna make a burrito. Let me make that. Gonna need to flatten this out and make some larger tortillas. Let's see. I didn't like Bratz because you could take their feet out. Okay, see, that was freaky, but I was mostly talking about, like, the types of parents who, I don't know, saw that they were wearing crop tops. Like basically their whole deal was they were urban fashion, video vixen, very Eve, very Gabrielle Union from Bring It On. And majority of people saw that as a good thing. But, other people did not. I suppose my parents really just didn't give a shit. Because, it's a toy at the end of the day. Like, it's what the kid makes of it, And granted, sometimes, I would just kind of do this with them. But, normal kids do that. That's fine. Like, my Bratz and Barbies got along swimmingly for the most part. I never had any drama with them. Although one funny thing from when I was a kid versus now is my mom would watch Practical Magic, like, religiously. Like, you would think, because I grew up in a private Catholic school, you would think that she'd be like, oh, magic, blah, blah, blah. But no, it was more like, oh my god, Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, iconic. And they were, and they are. But we would watch that, like, pretty much 3 times a month. And my mom is now like, why do you have sage sticks around the house? We don't believe in that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I literally watched a man get resurrected accidentally, and they have to kill him again with magic. And you're mad about a nice smelling stick. Huh? What do you mean? You keep freezing? Oh, yeah, sorry, it might be my signal. I'm toward the back of the house. Sorry about that. How am I now? How am I doing? Video buffering, use the low latency toggle. Settings. All right, how am I doing now? Can you see me? Can you hear me now? I'm wondering honestly if I should just set up the hotspot on my phone next stream, because since I'm like toward the back of the house, I'm like the furthest away from what's it called? The router. So that might be what's happening. But you know, we're all I'm still very green, figuring things out. But you know, we out here. Alright, how am I doing? We doing good? Hey! How y'all doing? That's literally how I feel at every function with my earphones. Hey! How y'all doing? Well, shit. What are y'all doing? Screwing? Come on, girl. Don't you die on me. Literally, the battery is fine. What is your problem? There she goes. Okay. Now let's see. What could we put in our burrito that won't make it look too stuffed? Because I gotta fold it this away. Right? Is there enough room on this one to fold it this away? I think yes. So let's start with the lettuce. It needs to stick out on both ends. So this is perfect, actually. So let's add a little bit of texture. Go. Let's take that out. Fold it in. Trying to make it a little bit lumpier. It could be lumpier. Let's just add some little spikes. Tuck them in. Spike. Tuck it in. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now I think that made this one too long. That's my bad. I don't know what I could do. Okay, that's a little bit better. There we go. We got our little lettuces. Let me add the little spikes so I can round them down. That might be a little bit easier. There we go. Let's flip this around. Squish it all down. Let's see what kind of texture we're working with. Okay, it's about the same. It's not great. You just kind of, maybe if I just scallop it. Yeah, let's do a little scallop. That's what I'll do. Well, next week, I'm definitely planning on streaming some video games. I'm thinking Animal Crossing, Stardew, just something chill. I might have separate nights where I do games that are a little more actually like competitive. I'll probably compete against my husband, maybe do online. I just don't like online because I'll get like legit players and it gets me nervous. I automatically lose because I get intimidated. Maybe even Bayonetta. Although Bayonetta I'm mostly worried about because it's hard. Like that, she's a bad bitch and she makes you work for it, you know? Like, I respect it, but it's like, damn. It also might be because I get so distracted by her, I can't focus. It's a problem. Yeah, let's squeeze our meat topping down a little bit. Right about there. We're gonna go ahead and wrap our burritos. There we are. It's more of a wrap than a burrito. But you know, we make do. Okay. Alright, rest of our clay can bag up. Let's add our last two little eye hooks. One of these. We're gonna go ahead and put it in the back, obviously. Right in here. Slide that puppy down. Do a second one. How are we doing, folks? I might need new pliers eventually. We shall see. There we go. Okay, my ear's swelling. That's great. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. But thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Lemon Slice Does Art, for the raid. That was really nice of you. Glad we could have a real chill night while I worked on my second line of earrings. We'll definitely catch you on the flippity flip next week. I'm really gonna do my damnedest to get us on some video games. And then maybe do another craft stream in the future. What are those that I just made? Oh, they're burritos / wraps. They look more like wraps than burritos. Like this one right here, I think is the most impressive because of that lovely little fold on the cheese. But yeah, I'm gonna bake these tonight and then hopefully have them painted by next week or so. I'm not gonna make an announcement until they're absolutely done. And put on my shop link. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good one.